Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you guys find yourselves, whenever you guys find yourselves listening to this video or watching it. I just wanted to kick it off right quick with saying my apologies for the sound quality. I severely underestimated the sound quality of a Vance & Hines short shot blasting. Oh, I do ask that if you do watch it, just have patience with me, I'll get better. Right, so if you have a 12-pound shit to take, then this is when I come in. More than likely, you've already experienced loss. The loss of another rider. A family member, loved one, acquaintance member of your chapter, rider group or club, hell, even social media community. And I think it's because of the loss or the inherited danger that comes with riding that prompts us when we see each other to do this as we're blowing past each other. In this video, I'm going to explain why I ride, why I stopped riding, and why I picked it up again. And all of this takes place in a time span of, say, I don't know, maybe about a month and a half. Enjoy the next 30 minutes of loud pipes and me trying to scream over them. If there's any value gained from this video, I would like to hear it from you. Like, comment. You don't have to subscribe to this. My channel's all over the place, but right now I'm going to be taking a 3-week hiatus from riding a bike as I'm going back to work. Until then, I'm in the cage looking after you guys and looking out for you guys. So, y'all have a good one. All right, so hopefully you're able to see things. If not, this has been a complete waste of time. And God damn it. God damn it. But here we are. I'm gonna go pay a visit to my favorite beanery just a few miles down the road from here. Mainly, this is gonna be the reason why I got into riding a bike. There's the other guy that makes noises around here, bringing property values down. Hello, dude. Because look, right there to my left, that's old people town. So I just want to get out as soon as I turn it on. Kind of just scoot away. I was always either riding on the riding bitch, or never even bothered getting on it at all. That was just my thing. My 3 older brothers, they did. One of them in particular, he's been riding since he was little, and he never really put it down. He kept doing it pretty much up until this year, So he's the go-to. He's a resident expert when it comes to riding bikes. So one thing that he told me back in 2005 when I wanted to get in one, he just told me, just understand that it's not a matter, or not a question of if, it's a question of when you're going to get into a wreck. We're going to filter here and nobody get offended by this. It just, over the course of time, it seemed like a lot of people were just dropping like flies over and over again. So I just figured, you know what? I'm just going to wait a good 5 years. And if after 5 years nobody dies, then I'll hop on 2 wheels and call it a day. Look at this guy. It's been about, it hits the 5th year anniversary, and no one really died. There should be space. And nobody really died. So I'm like, hey, this is a good time to learn, at least. So we hop on over to Mexico. My wife, she's been begging. She's the one actually saying we should get on bikes, and I'm like, no. So everybody out there actually expects you to be on a bike, and I'm talking about all these cagers here, right? So There's more of them than there is car drivers. So in many aspects, it's a lot safer to do it. But I didn't want to go correct somebody else's bike before. And that's pretty much it. I was hook, line, and sinker after that. Can I filter? Yeah, I can. And this asshole's gonna get mad. I shouldn't be calling him an asshole. Let's just wait. But to that end, make it back to the States, and I'm like, I want what I was having in Mexico over here. So I still have my little bike over there, and I want one over here. And we can't import it because I don't know why. Even if we were allowed to, we can't really find that brand. It's you want to reference Italica 150. I want to say Z. That's what you got, and it's a really nice looking bike. It's just stop on a dime. It's just there's no parts. There's no spare parts for it. You want to change anything on it, you're fucked. You got to go to Mexico and get it. So it needs to stay in its natural habitat. You can go with things that look like a Harley, or you can go with the Harley itself. And we can forget about the fact that it's a piece of shit and everything. Like, there's a lot of bad things to be said about Harley, and I agree 100%. But it doesn't stop being the brand you're chasing. The point being, I didn't want to be cruiser, or I didn't want to be a cruiser like a Japanese cruiser. I need to go with what's identifiable. It's already going to be an emotional purchase anyway, so why am I going to be cheaping out on it? We took the MSF, the wife and I, we wanted to have something in common, so we got ourselves a class, you know, kind of like a couples activity, and we figured, hey, it's going to be riding bikes. The only caveat I had is I don't want her riding with me. To mitigate risk. You know what? I kind of did her a solid because she doesn't like the shit that I like. Yeah, I do like the crotch rockets, sport bikes, and all that shit. But I also like these cruisers. Now, these cruisers are just relaxing to ride about. You know, bopping about town. Yeah. We bought them both cash. We didn't go to the dealership. We were gonna let our heartstrings be pulled by a dealer. So we didn't allow that happening, and we looked for the best deal on your Craigslist, your OfferUps, your Facebook marketplaces, things like that, and I found the bike that I wanted, the way that I envisioned it. So just imagine this: what would a prepubescent Bruce Wayne ride when he's not wearing a cape? To me, that's how I see it. So it has a 2-inch raise on the tank. Got the drag bars on it. Obviously the mirrors that are inverted, that comes standard as your first mod that you can do to this, free of charge. Relocated ignition on the left. LED lighting, and a lapel seat with some Vance & Hines pipes to let people know you're coming around. I think there's a Screaming Eagle filter on it, but the jury's still out on that one. I haven't cracked it open just yet. I probably should, but right now I'm just enjoying it. Eventually I want to upgrade it to 1200 cc, just so I can really feel a little bit more confident on the highway. But for now, just to go bebopping around town, I am more than okay with what I have. Oh, also these brake lever systems right here with the buttons, the 3 buttons, that's also not standard. So, which I like actually, because it really reduces the profile of your handlebar. And I think that's about it. Believe it or not, there really isn't much about it. But it does change the look completely. And this is what I like about the Sportster. It's just so versatile. You can make it to whatever it is that you want it to look like. Waiting on that green, baby. Also, I'm a small frame guy. So, you know, it's
still looks bigger than me, but if you've ever seen an 883, you know it's a very small, tiny thing. Oh shit. Wrong road, fool. Make a turn here. Yes, I have chicken strips. Get the fuck over. I take a picture of it with my phone, send it over to him. Or my wife actually does, send it to me. Loses a little bit of fidelity, and then I send it to him. And he responds with, dude, you could have at least made it, like, digitized it and shit. Of course, nothing's ever good for him. He's my older brother, so I'm always fucking up. You know, oh, by the way, this Sportster, not with his blessing. He wanted me to have like a fucking road glide for my first bike. But we're not meeting eye to eye on a lot of things because of the age gap. And by the way, this guy belonged to a widow's son chapter in Mexico. Got something, finally I can bring some substance to talk about. We can talk motorcycles. I'm gonna have this bond over this machine, and it was just great. And it was great. It was really great. For 4 weeks, maybe 5. It was great. And then 2 days after I sent him that picture, I got a call from my other brother. We need gas. Pay very close attention to what I'm telling you, or what I'm about to tell you. It's like, this is a different brother, by the way. It's like, there's 2 types of guys out there. Those that have and those that will. And automatically, because of the picture, and I had an urge to tell him about this picture days before, just because of that alone, I felt a nauseating feeling that, see, when you look at that picture, and I'm gonna put it up, when you look at that picture and you know that these 2 kids right there have already grown up, they fucked up in life, they got a few lumps along the way, and you can tell it's a dated picture. You know that that's a good picture to have for one of those kids' funerals. You know, like I saw it, I'm like, that's the picture I want. When it's a funeral, when there's a eulogy being said about me. So I sent it to him, and then I'm thinking, you know, it's been 5 years, no one's died, and you know, it's just me out here, the novice idiot that doesn't know anything about bikes, and yeah, I think I might be punching my ticket a lot sooner than expected, you know, onboarding these risks. So you know, I was like, yeah, I need to get it over to him in case something happens. Oh shit! In case something happens, I could just have that being shown in my wake. So I knew that in there that it was appropriate that I showed him that, but I also knew that it was going to be needed a lot sooner than expected. So that's the feeling that I got, that something had happened to him. So then I asked, you know, what happened to his name's Simon, by the way. You know, what happened to Simon? He's like, he got into a wreck in Guatemala. I knew he was in Guatemala. He told me the day that we were talking about the picture. He got in a wreck in Guatemala. He hit the ground in a weird way. And then I asked him, like, well, is he okay? He's like, well, I go back to work. He's like, just chill. My brother's telling me, just chill for a little bit. Don't freak out. Everything's, you know, we'll figure things out as they come. We'll take them as it goes. You know, just be very careful with your bike. I'm like, all right, we'll do. And then about 10 minutes later,
I didn't even get a call from my brother. Not his fault, but you know, he's probably busy with everything. But I get a text message from him, pretty much just telling me he's dead. And that was it. You guys would have liked him. I was upset. I was mad. And I was scared. I was scared because, oh no. Well, I'm scared I'm scared now. I was scared because I didn't know it, and I never told him, and I never realized it until that happened, that he was more of a father figure than he was a brother. So a lot of the things that I did were actually inspired by him. I didn't even know it. You know, the motorcycle thing, maybe not so much. God damn, what a mess. Maybe not so much the motorcycle thing, because I would have done everything I could to get on it as soon as I saw him on a Harley, and there would have been a panhead like he had one, or a police special, which I always thought they were just some old people shit, you know? $12. Gas saver, yeah. My confusion. He was my boss at some point. You know, nepotism is really big in the oil field, so immediately I resorted to think that, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and sell the bike. I don't want this death machine here in my house. I don't want this tragedy to repeat itself in the future. A lot of those negative emotions started coming in. Mind you, I work out of state. I don't work in the same state, so I had to finish my shift. You know what? I'm gonna take the other. What's up, old dude? I'll take the other. I had to finish my shift. I had to go back. And then somewhere in the process, I dropped my phone, so I was incommunicated, and like in one of my darkest periods of my life. So the phone overheated. Now we're over here because, you know, after all, this is Arizona, so what did you expect, right? And if you don't think it's hot enough in here, fuck you. It's really hot, and you deserve to come out here. And anyway, as I was saying, and yeah, darkest period of my time, my life. By the way, I'm rocking Woobies. Shout out to Woobies. Woobies are badass. Paracort's mine though. That's not Woobies. They don't do it that way. And yeah, man, to make matters simple, man, I had to go talk to my boss. I had to tell him what had happened after about 8 hours of going around town looking for somebody that could fix the phone. I finally determined that it couldn't be fixed. I had to get another different phone. This little piece of crap. Either way, it didn't have any of the contact information because I didn't store anything on the cloud, like the idiot that I am. But in my defense, I don't want people knowing my shit. That's on me. I get this phone with like 2 phone numbers. None of them are my boss's. I have to drive back another hour and a half, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, because I had to make a few stops here and there. And by the time I get around to it, my boss already knew what happened. Somebody somewhere, someone told him what happened. He just said, I know what happened. He's like, so whatever you need to do, I support it. Let these guys know, and we'll back you up 100%. So that was pretty nice of him. I didn't expect that. I expect to be pulling teeth a little bit. I wasn't going to tell him what happened. But I was going to tell him, hey, you know, you'll know after the fact, but right now I got to sort a lot of things out, and it's a really bad thing. So I drive back, and this is where it gets to the why. I've been awake for a little over 15 hours now because I came on shift for 15 hours, got the news an hour into my shift, so I had 14 hours of just sitting there, incommunicated with the phone broken, and just thinking about my brother. Getting off shift to then going an hour in the opposite direction to the nearest town in hopes that I can find someone that can restore my phone. Found out that the most viable option at that point was to buy a different phone, at least for the time being, and then come back. I then go talk to my boss. My boss gives me the hominis dominus thing, you know, go my son, and embark on this great crusade. So then I do that. Then I drive 12 hours to Phoenix, which you should have known, but you know, there's a landmark there. There's Camelback Mountain. And by the way, if you must know, we're at Black Rifle Coffee Company. So there's that. To getting on my bike so I can get my car into my space at the apartment, the one that you saw me taking out of. And then I move the car in. I leave the bike idling. She was idling pretty high for a minute there. When I moved the car back inside, the idle kind of went down a little bit. So I was like, okay, we should just go right around in it, you know, because it's been sitting out for about, I want to say for just over about a week and change since its last ride. So I wanted to just kind of fire up the engine and brush off the cobwebs. Good coffee. And from there, I was done warming it up and brushing off the cobwebs in about 5 minutes. I kid you not. But about 8 hours later, I still found myself riding the bike. And then, you know, that entire time I was just thinking about my brother, you know. But I was thinking about him in a way that I wasn't like stricken with sadness. Not then, anyway. I was stricken more with a euphoric feeling of his existence, of his life. What he did a lot. He did a lot, man. There was a lot. There's a lot of shit that he made up along the way. But there was also a lot of things that were organically true and factual that he did as well. He learned how to play a guitar. He worked for a guitar manufacturer in Mexico. Because he worked there, he had to learn how to play both sides. So he did the southpaw, and he was left-handed and right-handed. He was ambidextrous with the guitar because of that job. He worked in the oil field. He got me in the oil field. He was always trying to get me to do things with him. He was a huge influence in my life. Subtly huge. Because there's a lot of habits and quirks that I have that I picked up from him that I've seen him do, but I never realized I was doing. To sum it up, he was a huge paternal figure in my life. I went shooting with him first at 14. I knew what Age of Empires was because of him. I pulled like fucking all-night benders on those things, man. Like just binged on that fucking game. He gave me good, sound, earthy advice, like condoms cost $30 at the gas station. Look at him, almost hit the bike. So all these little things I was just thinking about, you know. Then I started worrying about my sister-in-law, who's also like a firm supporter of riding. Actually, the lifestyle. I'm not even a big fan of the lifestyle, but they are. They were diehard about it, you know. She doesn't ride anymore. She has her reasons. But I came to the conclusion that for me to stop riding would be a disservice to my brother and all his time that he put into me actually getting around a bike and throwing one over the seat. So I didn't sell this death trap like I resorted to it once I got the news. I instead said I'm gonna pay homage to him by riding. Because when I ride, I feel close to him. There's a closeness, a proximity that comes with me riding this bike that, yeah, I still hear the voice, gay-ass Sportster. You know. But you know what? I also hear Harley is the best bike. That's not true, by the way. Look at it. I mean, it's timeless. It's a shape that transcends ages and lifestyles. I mean, you look at my brother, you would think old white dude with leathers on. You look at me, it's like some little entitled prick with a Molly bag and a fucking satchel and helmets, you know, and some movies. Harley did something right with her branding, I'll tell you that, you know. It keeps his memory alive. That's why I ride. That's the reason why I didn't stop riding, and I don't plan on doing it anytime soon. So in closing, my rider buddies, I will say this: don't let hubris happen to you. Hubris is a very deadly thing, and it goes hand in hand with the arrogance. Just make every ride your last ride. And if it is your last ride, you make sure every box is checked off. Make sure you're okay with your spouse, your kids, your loved ones. Make sure your bike is ready to go. Make sure your kit is ready to go. Make sure that if you're gonna wear these bullshit shoes, which Woobies are badass, but they're not riding gear, make sure that you have come to terms with the idea that you're not wearing the proper gear and that you're okay with it. They're out there because someone that wasn't planning of having a medical emergency is having one right now. The only thing that I wonder is did they check every box on the list, before they had to make that call. And at the very least, wear a helmet. And if you don't, pick and choose the places that you know are less risky for you not to wear a helmet. Don't go exploring naked, please. And to close it on a much friendlier note, a much happier note, what are your reasons why you are still riding to today? Why are the reasons that have been holding you back? What are the reasons that you put it down? I want to know everything. For me, it's my brother. And I thank my wife for allowing me the opportunity to get out of my own way, to not be so chicken shit about things and get on that bike in Mexico. Because without that bike in Mexico, this 883 wouldn't be parked there. And I don't know what the hell I'll be doing. Probably playing video games. So I thank my wife for that. And if something were to happen to me today on that bike, I lived a full life.